Stugatz here. When it comes to scoring great hires for your business, you may be up against a few obstacles, like an overwhelming amount of resumes, too many applicants, but not enough of the right ones. That's why you need ZipRecruiter on your team. No matter the industry, healthcare to manufacturing to business services, ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier, and now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Dan. First, when you post a job on ZipRecruiter, it gets sent out to over 100 top job sites. Then, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology hustles for you to find people with the right experience for your job and invites them to apply. In fact, check out this stat. 4 to 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. How about that? So add ZipRecruiter to your roster to help you win the hiring game. To try ZipRecruiter for free, go to ZipRecruiter.com/Dan. That's ZipRecruiter.com/DAN. ZipRecruiter.com/Dan. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Big shit, Bob.
It would have been funny. It would have been a funny joke.
That's not what I expected.
I know.
Yeah, dude, I thought a different
Now
word.
I get it.
You were proud of that, Billy. You were so happy when I went clunkily into the chat to try and describe that, and I did it the worst possible way. I should have just said word that, curse word for feces or something. But big shit Bob would have made me fall out of my chair laughing if you had delivered it to end the segment on Big Shot Bob.
You know what I was thinking? As soon as I did it, I go, God, I hope this isn't one of those things where he just reads it and forgets that we can't be doing that. And then that goes out on the air. And then it's going to be like, well, how did this happen? And then they trace it back. And it's like, well, Billy put it in the chat. And then it becomes a whole thing. And I was like, as soon as I sent it, I'm like, that's one of those jokes I should have just kept to myself and no one would have known and things would have been a lot easier.
You have every right to be concerned because as Dan and I get older and become crazier and crazier, I have no idea which hours we're doing digitally, which hours are live on the air. I don't think Dan does either. There's a good chance when you type something to us, we might just blurt it out.
Billy, I'm wondering if you are such a fearful creature that every damn decision you make to do anything comes with that conversation in your head, worrying about consequences. Like, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Maybe you're wondering. This is not a known thing. I had an idea for imaging, by the way. We can get back to the other thing in a second. You said it, and it popped into my head. You know how you said 2 live hours? What if that's what we call the national show? And then we had some sort of like 2 live crew spin on it. I don't really know what there is to do there besides wordplay. I was in a word-playing mood today, Dan, as you saw. Words, letters.
Wish that stayed in your head.
2 live crew specific. I like that idea, actually. Get to work on it immediately. Have it by tomorrow.
Well, he said he doesn't
that's
know.
The whole idea. That's
right.
the thing. There's not much.
Brainstorming.
I think it rolls off the tongue. 2 live hours.
Do they have like a famous logo? No, right?
No, but Dan and Sue can recreate the famous album cover. Only they'll be the girls.
So we've got a lot to get to here. We have a Suey category, most uncomfortable moment, and somehow we are damn near a week behind on weekend observations. I'm looking at our faces. I don't know if you guys feel this on Zoom from home in the shipping container, but if you saw the look on me and Mike and Stugatz when the show ended, we were just sort of shaking our head, saying, where the hell did the show go? Like, we can't, there's no time to do anything. Is that happening with you guys?
It went to Greenie.
And is that happening with you guys in the shipping container? Because we were all just sort of looking at each other like, wow, okay, the show is over, and we didn't get to, football.
Time flies when you're having fun, Dano. I'll see myself out.
See you later, Billy-O. Time now for Stugatz's Thursday observations from the weekend that was 4 or 5 days ago.
It is time for Stugatz to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy Stu.
Dan! Texans Chiefs. Thursday night. Full slate on Sunday. No fans. Dan, just like that, the NFL is back. A tradition unlike any other. Labor Day weekend and the run for the roses. The Bucs are better without Giannis.
Oh, God.
Oh, they are. Josh McCown was named the Eagles' emergency quarterback. Josh McCown is the best emergency quarterback in the history of the NFL.
He looks like a fighter pilot still. He's in his early 40s, and he just looks like someone who should be flying a plane and shooting at people.
Agreed. It's a good observation by you. The Bucks are obviously not as good without Giannis.
What?
What do you mean?
The
Bucks are better without Giannis.
I see.
And then they lost, and they're obviously not as good without Giannis.
Game 4, Game 5. I get it.
Yep. Keep up with the program here, Dan.
It's Thursday.
Sorry.
Yep. Exactly. It is. After signing Adrian Peterson, the Lions' backfield now consists of Peterson, DeAndre Swift, Kenyon Johnson, and Bo Scarborough.
It's Kerryon Johnson.
Whatever. You know what that is, Dan?
Loaded?
It's a crowded backfield.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Josh McCown should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's dominated the position of emergency quarterback for 2 decades. He has. I know this sounds terrible, but I think if you were the U.S. Open and the TV networks and your choices are Novak Djokovic and the lines person, I think you got to somehow figure out a way to go Novak. What do you think?
I mean, I was this week. I woke up laughing. I told Chris this week simply because of his visual image creation of Djokovic turning around, hitting a tennis ball so hard that it hit Meryl Streep in the throat while she was somehow in the first row of a pandemic. I woke up laughing one morning at that visual.
The Titans signed Jadeveon Clowney to a 1-year deal. Dan, you of course know what the Titans are. They are all in, Dan.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they're a pit stop.
No, they're all in. They didn't tighten up that wallet, though. Is there a more respected athlete anywhere in sports than Deshaun Watson? You tried to hit that loser game show sound. It didn't work. How about that? Is there, though, Dan? That's a what? Is there a more respected athlete anywhere in sports than Deshaun Watson? I'm serious. He's the athlete's athlete. They love him. Everyone loves Deshaun Watson. I find it amazing.
Don't they also love Patrick Mahomes?
Debatable. They like Watson more.
All right, you're saying that he's the most loved athlete in the world.
It's either him or Frank Gore.
The history of the world, and he's second place in tonight's game.
Yeah. Which reminds me, in this week's edition of We're All Getting Old, I bet on a team that had Frank Gore Jr. on it. Oh, my God.
It's unbelievable.
No, it's terrible.
It is unbelievable that Frank Gore's kid is playing while Frank Gore is still playing.
Southern Miss. Jets Bills, 1 p.m. on Sunday. Otherwise known as 1-0. I hate them. Kirk Herbstreit, thank you. Now what? Listen, what Novak Djokovic did was bad, but we can all agree the line judge deserves an Oscar. The Joker. Death, taxes, and the annual BYU Navy Labor Day Classic. What kind of game was that?
They were close.
So many sports going on.
That game was filled with people that are closer to 40 than they are to 20.
Article about Carson Wentz. After kicking down doors, Carson Wentz has found his voice. Hopefully, he also finds a way to stay healthy. Headline, Jets GM. Team is angered by low expectations. Jets GM. I mean, seriously, man. Why would anyone ever have any sort of high expectations for the New York Jets? Joe Douglas said the Jets can win the Super Bowl. Joe, you're the Jets GM. Act like it. What happens if no one ever wins a home game? Put that in the something to ponder file. What happens? We have a series where someone might not win a home game. Did it ever happen?
It's all the series now are going to happen that way, right? Or no, I guess technically they are home teams. In the bubble.
Something to ponder, Dan.
Yeah, sorry.
We put it in the file.
I didn't mean to ponder it during your weekend observation.
No problem. Gotta be honest. Tennis without fans makes me a little sad. Everyone, please do me a favor. Stop telling me what a great coach Mike Budenholzer is. I can't say his name. I'm tired. After going 4 of 18 with 14 points in Game 3, Jaylen Brown went 10 of 18 with 27 points in Game 4. You know what he did, Dan? He had a big bounce-back game. They're already on to Game 7. I'm doing the observations now. This was after Game 4.
Understood.
What is going on?
Good observation on Monday.
Weird time. Where was I? Cam Newton. I lost it, Mike. Hold on a second.
Bounce back game.
Cam Newton said him and the Patriots are a match made in heaven. For now, Cam. That city can be brutal, and you're following a legend. It can quickly turn to hell, and if it does, make sure you say hi to Art Briles for me when you get there. Dan, those are the weekend observations.
All right. So thank you, Stugat.
You're welcome.
Wonderful as always. That segment is very popular. Roy Bellamy is pointing out things in the chat. Among them, Steve DeBerg played until he was 44 years old. There is no hyphen in defense, and he says that my hair makes me look like one of the 3 tenors, that it is sideways hair.
I know which one of the 3 tenors.
It's kind of like DeBerg's hair back in the day, your hair.
Well, Chris is saying that I should continue to grow it out. I'm thinking about braiding it like Masvidal.
It's Pavarotti, the fat one.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Those fat jokes, don't think it's gone unnoticed that Christine Lisi is making an awful lot of them, and I'm suspicious about whether this is from her sense of humor or not. I might get to the bottom of this at some point, but time now for another Suey, Stugatz. Are you ready? And by the way, for those of you here who are part of the Whispered Secret that is the Postgame show and some of the other stuff that we're doing around the radio show, first of all, thank you for supporting what it is that we do. And check out that Brockmeyer podcast today, The Big Suey, because that was professional comedy, what that man did. He is starting a podcast, and we're helping him start a podcast. And the first episode of that podcast is The Big Suey. So make sure to check that out if you want to laugh this weekend. And speaking of laughing at our discomfort, this category, how loaded is this, Chris? How loaded is this, the uncomfortable moments category?
I'm afraid.
David Sampson, Jason Leaser, just get ready.
Oh, man, that wins it. That
Really?
wins it for me.
Really?
Yeah, maybe.
Wow.
I don't know how you guys will experience it, but when I heard it, a chill went down my spine. I still have awkward interactions with Jason Leisure, who I'm kind of ghosting. He's like, hey, can I join the local hour this week? I'm like, I don't know. I'm so uncomfortable.
This is interesting, though, because you guys can contaminate the jury pool when you say something is better than anything else. You guys can contaminate the voting. Is there anything that you would view as a rival to Jason Leisure and David Sampson, Chris?
You blubbering?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right.
Oh, wow. My tears when I made the Black Lives Matter and the rioting in the streets about my tears and my mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird.
During straight talk.
Yeah. Nothing to do with you. Had nothing to do with anything.
All right. Excellent. I can't wait to I can't wait to hear.
That's your go-to story. I mean, I go to Big Shot Bob. You go to that.
Roy was thinking that I was going in one direction, and I was holding up a defense sign with no hyphen. All right, let's get to most uncomfortable moments in the last year.
And now the Suey nominees for most uncomfortable moment. Baron Davis makes our interview with him awkward.
I wanted to know the most fun and the least fun you've ever had playing for basketball teams, because I've got a couple of guesses.
Just playing basketball is always like the best feeling in the world. I would say getting injured is probably the worst.
But I would imagine that playing for the Clippers was the least fun that you had. Baron?
What?
Was that silence
Confirmed,
on purpose?
Dan. That was a confirmation.
That, okay. So what was the most fun? What one team, one season is the most fun you've had?
One is wrong. Like I told you, basketball got its ups and downs. It's got some good spots, some sore spots. What do you want me to say?
I don't want you to say anything other than where it is that you were having the most fun, other than what kind of dog is that? It sounded like a small dog.
It's a shark dog. It's swimming in the water. It's half dog, half shark. I've been breeding them over here in my aquarium.
Huh.
Baron, what happened to this interview? It started with me saying how much I like talking to you, enjoyed talking to you over the years. What happened? What did I do wrong? Why are you sicking your shark dog on me?
Because my dog didn't like the questions you asked.
Okay. What did you want me to ask you about? DunkSociety.com?
You can ask me anything, man. You just be prepared for the answers that you're going to get.
Billy Gill knocks over the ladder in the Music Dome.
Thingamajig was going up against the Tree. All right, the Tree. All right, the Tree performed Total Eclipse of the Heart. Here were some of the guesses. Okay? Don't walk under that ladder, Dan. That's some bad luck.
Dan asks Dave Coulier about a documentary that he was in.
Dave Coulier is with us. Did you see the Shandling documentary Judd Apatow did?
Yeah, I was in it. Oh no, I didn't see it.
What did you think of it?
Dan awkwardly mentions Michael Bradley during the Jane Elliott interview.
I really resent the fact that we replay and replay and replay the picture of that man being held down with somebody's knee on his neck while three other males hold him down. If you replay that often enough, you are deliberately, it seems to me, attempting to intimidate young black males and their mothers. Why do black mothers have to see that kind of threat on television every time they turn on the news? I don't think this is an accident, and I don't think this is because we want to show people how awful it is. No. We want to show people, black people, what will happen to you if you get out of line, and you don't have to get very far to be out of line.
Michael Bradley, the U.S. soccer national player, also agrees with you. He's a soccer midfielder. That's the sports tie to this particular interview because Jane Elliott has gotten away from us here. You are bringing fire all over that. You've brought a flamethrower to what it is that we're doing here today.
Good job out of you bringing it back to sports,
yes,
Dan.
Michael Bradley, U.S. soccer national midfielder, has similar thoughts.
Wow.
Jerry O'Connell isn't in the mood to promote his project with everything going on in the world.
Well, Jerry, everyone's making top 10s during this pandemic, and I will have you know that you made my top 10 list of head of hairs. Congratulations to you. You were number 8 on my list. How about that?
Thank you. That is a real honor. And guys, thank you so much for having me on during these insane times. I mean, it's just crazy hearing you. I mean, just what's going on. I feel almost silly coming on here and talking about haircut night in America, you know? I mean, it just doesn't feel...
Jerry, if you'd called 1 minute earlier, it would have been slightly less awkward. But because we're getting to you a little late, I started with something I shouldn't have started with because I thought you were there.
No, it's okay. Hey, listen, it's just unsettling what's happening. It's just unsettling. It's really unsettling. And I'm glad that, you know, I get on your show and you're talking about it, you know?
Bolt, do you want to talk about haircut night in America? Because this has been quite the mess, Jerry, where you seem discombobulated.
Yeah.
And
it's a couple of mentions eating grief. I mean,
Mike Ryan asks FIU football coach Butch Davis about his team faking injuries.
Hey, Coach, it's Mike Ryan. It's all about the U. On that amazing practice that you had on Tuesday, how much time was devoted to falling down and pretending like you hurt a hamstring?
Get out of here. Ignore him, Butch. Ignore him. We know conditioning was a thing. Conditioning's a thing, Butch. They were dehydrated. It happens.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a run-of-the-mill delayed get to the line of scrimmage and then realize your hamstring happened 5 times without losing a timeout. It was
Ignore him,
to you and your
Ignore
staff.
him.
It was
He's a crybaby.
The training
Coach.
staff did an amazing job, especially with that one kid that went down grabbing his left, but up favoring limping his right.
Well, just so that you guys know, we had 14 guys get IVs prior to the game, and during the course of the game, either at halftime or actually on the sidelines, we had 5 more.
Dan gets emotional talking about his mom.
The 90 miles between Cuba and our shores is literally filled with bodies that literally threw themselves to the wind to get out of the desperation and get here on wooden boats made of tires and died in the ocean, so eager to get over here. My mother, from everything that happened there, being chased through the streets with chains by police for her religious beliefs, my mother has trouble breathing and is in health that is an old person's health. And her esophagus closes on her in a way that makes it difficult to breathe and eat. Because of this, okay? Because of the post-traumatic stress disorder in this. And now she's got shingles because of the stress of this, of what it reminds her of when she was a teenager. And I've been trying to protect my parents here for the better part of 3 months because I'm afraid of losing them. And what is happening in our country doesn't feel like our country. I'm sorry. Can you guys make
You're
this...
sorry? He's going to have to go to Straight Talk.
Can you
now.
guys make this less...
transition to Straight
Just
Talk.
make it less awkward. Just make it less awkward.
All right, that was Straight Talk. It was brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. It's awkward. It doesn't matter. No contracts, no compromise.
Jason Leisure is unnecessarily mean to David Sampson.
Jason, with that being said, we bring you aboard live from Radio Row. Your thoughts on this segment so far?
It's incredibly boring. Is that going into the mic? Am I on the air now?
You're on the air, and David can hear that, and you guys can be at each other's throats.
Why are we doing this?
Well, I don't know who you are, Jason, but we're doing it because I was asked to call in at this time to talk about a movie review and then move into other subjects. But I don't drive this show. I drive nothing personal. This is being driven solely by Mike. So any level of boredom that you feel should be pointedly directed toward Mike, not me.
I mean, you had to have gotten bored during all that. Did you bore yourself during that?
I actually never bore myself. I do a lot of things with myself, but boring myself is not one of them.
My favorite part was when you bristled at people being in it just to make a profit. That bothers me too, David.
Is there anything wrong with just trying to make money?
Okay. Well, if it was boring, it's certainly not boring anymore.
I have a follow-up question for David.
No, Jason, I think we're good.
I just want to know if he has a job other than this.
No, he's got nothing personal.
He's nothing personal.
Yeah, Billy.
What is that?
Are you as uncomfortable as I am with this whole thing?
Things haven't gotten off to the best of start between Jason and David, I'd say.
I
don't even know who Jason is, though.
I know who you are, and I don't like you.
Oh, my God. Jason,
other than that, I think it's going great.
But, Jason, all I ask is at least meet me before you say that.
I have. You just don't remember.
Well, that's totally unfair because in my job, I've met a ton of people, and it's impossible to remember everyone. So maybe I remember your face if it's noteworthy.
Stugotz uses poor phrasing talking about a sporting goods store.
I thought shoes were among them because you got to figure out whether that stuff fits or not, although you can just keep returning it.
I mean, sometimes I step into a shoe that I go in sort of just buying online without trying on, and I realize, that doesn't fit great, but you eat it.
I love Dick's, but the shoe store, Dan, as you know
Jesus, phrasing.
I mean, Dick's Sporting Goods. But the shoe store, the shoe store as you remember it, Dan, no longer exists. I love Dick's. I do.